Hey everyone, thank you so much for clicking on this video. Welcome to yet another episode of Let Love Talk, a segment where I'll be calling various people from different avenues of life and interviewing them on relationship issues with the aim of hearing their views and hopefully learning from them. I have a tricky and controversial one today. Should a man control a woman's dressing? Should a man control a woman's dressing? I'm super eager to hear how this one goes. My guest on the line is Mr. Mwelwa Phiri. He's an economist, but he likes to be referred to as a 21st century economist. Mr. Phiri, how are you doing? And welcome to Let Love Talk.
Thank you very much, Mishek. It's actually a pleasure to be here. How are you doing?
I'm doing absolutely well. It's a pleasure to have you here as well. All right, so without any hesitation, let's dive in. What is your general take on the dressing of our ladies today?
So that's that's a very good question. Dressing and fashion of today has what do we start from, eh? Yeah, so we've got so many trends going around of late. We see our female folk trying to embrace a lot of the Western culture in terms of dressing and fashion. My general take and feel is that first and foremost it has evolved, okay, with time, and it's no longer what it used to be, because there's a lot of adoption of what the Western culture is presenting and throwing onto us, very little will you see us embrace our own cultural clothing,
True.
So you find that most ladies would rather go with trends and fashion trendsetters that are currently out there and available. So it's actually quite wide, okay, because it falls in so many categories. When you look at age group, you're looking at socioeconomic factors in terms of where the current ladies are talking about where they're from. Okay, we're talking about those in universities and colleges. We're talking about the married type. We're talking about those in the urban and rural areas. So, but I must say, from a general perspective and view, it has been adopted that at least even in rural areas, you get to find a certain level of the Western culture and kind of dress code has been adopted by many.
I see. Okay, but before we go on, for the sake of the viewers and myself, maybe, describe what you mean when you say adopting Western culture in this case.
Yeah, so for Western culture, Western world, back in the days, as Africans, the woman could not wear the trousers, okay? But today it's something we've accepted and embraced. So you find that it's something that came from Europe, okay? Came from the Americans, so on and so forth. So when we say mainly Western culture, we kind of adopted their way of dressing, okay? For both sexes, and women, particularly in Africa, Zambia to be specific, many of them rather, have accepted that kind of dress code.
Okay, that's interesting. Alright, so now let me ask you this. In the summer, right? Let me get into it. In the summer, hot season, I want you to be absolutely honest here. Do you believe that ladies wear revealing clothes only because it's hot and they want to breathe? Or is there any hidden agenda somewhere?
So basically, for most ladies, summer could be an opportunity, to wear revealing clothes. But I must pinpoint, say, in every action, there's the manifest and the latent function. In this case, they could be wearing and taking advantage of summer, but also using it as an opportunity, to confuse or attract the opposite sex.
True.
You know? So it's actually a two-way stream. Yeah, some ideally the fact that it's summer, it's hot, and also take advantage of that to, you know, sure offer a little bit of skin here and there.
You know, and I'm glad that you have said showing off some skin. But are they aware? You know, are they aware? Like, do you think women fully understand the mental effect that skimpy clothes have on a man's mind? Huh?
So ideally, for most, some actually are very much aware. Others may not be, because, you know, one's clothing and dressing can just be a type of preference, and that's, you know, something we do on a daily basis. But I don't feel women wake up and say, what I'm wearing, how will it affect others, you know? It's first with what you're comfortable in as a human being on that particular day, and then before you go out, you're telling yourself, well, I prefer to wear this, and I'm going to do this. And also, a certain type of dressing does have an effect, okay? Because it demands attention, okay?
Yeah.
If, say, you're in a church gathering, the lady decides to wear the shortest skirt possible, okay? It will obviously distract others.
True.
And some are actually aware of what kind of distraction this actually brings about. So for most, they are actually very much aware. But I must add on that it shouldn't be justification for us men, okay, to say, well, subject A wore certain kind of clothing, which led me to do, which led me to act in such a manner, to disrespect to ladies and so on and so forth. No.
You know, that was unexpectedly deep, and especially if we factor in things like rape and sexual assault. Women wearing skimpy clothes is not even, like, it shouldn't be it shouldn't be used to justify any of that nonsense.
Yeah,
you know?
True.
All right. So if I could get another point from your answer. You say some are aware, right? Some are aware of the effect that it has on the man's mind. So now my question here is, what's the motive for such women? Like, they are aware that what they are wearing is going to be it's going to send some sort of signals to a guy. So, like, what are their motives?
Yeah, so for most ladies, they actually are aware that the certain kind of dressing does have a certain mental effect on men, you know. But we do know that they do dress for themselves. But even those that want, ladies love compliments. They love to be the center of attention. They love to, stand out. And once that happens, and others, when they actually realize that they can use that to their power, it becomes, something that they harness and use to their advantage, because they know, if I dress a certain type of way, I'll be, the center of attraction and the limelight and what have you. I'll give a very good example. If you went to a church, and there's certain acceptable kind of dressing at a church, but if you went to a church and found a lady dressed in the shortest of dresses or skirts, maybe even, let's just put it in simple terms, very long slit, it will obviously distract men and even other people, because your level of attention shifts, because you're wondering, say, well, what kind of dressing is this? And
it's confusion. And it's quite sad that they take that route or that road to get attention or some sort of notice. Alright, so now let's touch on the picture that dressing paints, right? My question here is, do you think, right, women's dressing says a lot about her character? Like, do you think her dressing speaks volume, like, enough to judge her character?
They safely say, do not judge a book by its cover, right? But I'm made to believe that your outlook at parents does kind of give off certain hints of what you are and what you're trying to be, what you're trying to communicate, you know. In the respect of let's say a priest, and let's give an example of a sex worker.
Okay.
Their respective offices allow them to dress in a certain type of way. Okay, but also with our social norms and acceptability, we will not really entertain the dressing of a sex worker.
Yeah.
Okay, in broad daylight, because obviously that will give off a certain, it will raise eyebrows. Okay.
True.
Likewise, if you found a priest in a bar, okay, in his attire, it will raise certain eyebrows.
Yeah.
So we can, to a degree, judge one's dress code, okay, and character, because it says something. So it shouldn't be the basis. I mean, if you meet someone, and basically as human beings, we are drawn to a certain preference. So if you are drawn to a lady in a decent form of clothing, meaning obviously certain traits you should expect. You will not be wowed, okay? And likewise, vice versa. If a lady dresses a bit too skimpy, a certain level of, you know, character and need and traits you should see develop as you decide to engage with such a one. So to some degree, yes, we can definitely say that one's dressing, in this particular case, a lady's dressing, that's kind of give her a certain level of, it gives off hints of, this is who I am, this is what I'm trying to be. Not always, it's not 100%, but it does actually give that off.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And if I could throw in another old saying, actions speak louder than words. And in this case, a lot is spoken through the dressing. All right. So now for the pillar, for the juice, the core of the episode, Mr. Phiri. It's a fairly simple question, yet so feisty.
Yeah.
All right. With everything that has been said, should a man control his woman's dressing? This could be the wife or the girlfriend, right? And as you answer this, keep in mind that you have established that some of these ladies dress to provoke the thoughts of men. So should there be some regulation from the men?
Let me say this. No man should control a lady's dressing. I repeat, no man should control a lady's dressing.
Okay.
First and foremost, in a relationship, if you feel, well, your partner is dressing some type of way, you are allowed as a man, okay, to give your 2 cents about her dressing. To say, well, I would like to dress in this type of way, okay, but you should not be one to control a lady's dressing.
Okay.
Let's take a scenario where you decide to control a lady's dressing. Then if you decide to oppress her kind of dressing, what's going to happen is that she will now decide to dress in hiding. Okay? When she's not around, she doesn't want to wear the type of dressing that you decide to. She's trying, you're making her avoid. Okay? So it is not in any right of ours to control their dressing. Let them dress how they feel. So effective communication in relationships. Talk to your woman and say, well, I'd like you to dress in such a manner, and vice versa. Okay? And I mean, well, if you want to see your woman in certain types of clothing, buy her those clothes. Okay? I mean, women love gifts. Okay? We all know fashion is one of their top priority areas. So no man should control ladies' dressing at all.
Wow. Okay. I bet a lot of men out there feel betrayed. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, there is Mr. Phiri's 2 cents right there. No further questions. Please, be sure to subscribe, hit notification, and kindly leave a comment down below. I would really love to hear what you have to say on this topic. I'll talk to you in the next video.